Welcome to another edition of What the Fuck Happenings here in Mendham. Here, flowers. Yeah, very nice actually. Actually looking very nice mostly. The old homestead. Yeah, except for the crappy roof and certain other defects. Not bad. Almost flowers. I mean, forget me not. These here. Just did tomato section today. Haven't planted yet, but everything's ready. Nice amaryllises. Yes. So somebody did, the typical rag, that making some crack that the place is a sty or something and blah blah blah. And yes, there is some messes here and there, but really it's really quite nice here. This is interesting. The two flowers in the same plant. This one was solid purple, and this one's striped. I didn't think they did that off the same plant. So nothing yet, but it's close. Tomatoes in here. Yes. So podcasters, you just have to imagine the scenery I'm talking about. Sorry. I don't think anybody listens to the podcast anyway. Iris I'm showing now with my finger pointing at it. Iris, bearded. See, look lovely in here. Another iris over there. Tomatoes planted there. Birds chirping. It's really quite, it's nice here. And greenhouse area. Backyard area, which I'll go to shortly. Might as well look in the greenhouse again since I'm here. Yes, these are all waiting for tomorrow. So tonight's the last really cold night for a while, so I'll let everything stay comfortably warm for one more night and then start planting. Get this ready, keep the deers out, and so that'll be like a mobile garden. It's nice. So again, lots of the irises did pretty well this year. Tall and such. Very tall even. Very tall. Yeah, and there's another little petunia. Petunia? No. Yeah, petunia. I can't remember the names. Anyway, nicely ready. Stuff happening soon. So this area does have to get cleaned up, but I'm migrating everything, moving everything, moving in the right direction. So, but anyway, these stupid cranks. I just hate people. Just obnoxious for no good reason. So anyway, well, I guess the reason is their feelings have been hurt, or somehow, they've lost an argument, and therefore they have to resort to petty bullshit and such. All this stuff is almost getting somewhere. Camera. Yeah. I guess that's going to be a purple one. Hope I don't get up with all purple and white, but we'll see. It should be mixtures and such. But lots of them. Lots and lots of plants. Almost ready. So I think that's all to show. And now it's the tell part. Oh dear. Yeah, not much to report on. There's always something going on. Some new antinatalist people making antinatalist type videos. Can't remember their names, but you can look up the word antinatalism, I suppose, and then you'll find the videos. Maybe not, though. I don't know whether this happens to other people, but periodically YouTube doesn't let me search. I mean, if I do a search on my own name in Mendham or on Draft Science especially, no videos. It doesn't index the Draft Science videos. Even when it's a private window, still nothing. Kind of annoying. If they're doing that as making a habit of it. But Google's always been so unreliable in that regard. No integrity as a search engine at all. And, people are just, oh yeah, well, let's trust the corporation to run things. Not a good idea. You could just go through all the things that aren't a good idea that we're stuck with because nobody's motivated to do anything. And people really just can't get along. You know, even people on the same side offend each other. Thunderfoot made a, which seemed like a just insanely long video for Thunderfoot. You know, when he drones on for half an hour, he just repeats himself. He's kind of like the Ken Wheeler guy, just keeps making the same point over and over and over. And you're just like, I already got that part, I already got that part, I already got that part. You don't need 14 illustrations, just maybe 2 examples is enough, not 14. But anyway, so he's sort of complaining because all the women hater club, he calls them skeptics, which I don't understand. I don't know how being a misogynist or a chauvinist gains you the definition of a skeptic, but whatever. The anti-SJW, social justice warriors, again, which is not a bad concept. If people do social justice wrong, well then just point out how they're doing it wrong. No point in saying the title is incorrect. But anyway, so he did some video separating himself from the evil woman haters because they're using tactics that he doesn't approve of, in the sense that they're mocking and making fun of. You know, a woman killed by a, one of the all too common crazy people. And again, it's a country, 300 million people. You got to expect a few people go wacko, and as I've say over and over again, that and it's just a useless thing to say, is that we really should have some more discipline. We should sort of demand that now that we know the game of the news industry, if it bleeds, it leads kind of bullshit. That we really just shouldn't be after, tell me what the craziest person in America did today, and call that news. It's not really news. What crazy people do, or silly people, or dumb people, or whatever. I mean, finding the silliest, the dumbest, and the craziest person every day and doing a news story on them just doesn't seem to make much sense. It's sort of like the anti of the Olympics. It's like winning for the wrong reason. So the news is just really fail videos. And it's very discouraging. And, the fact that no one else is discouraged by this, well, not no one else, so few of us are sufficiently discouraged by these things to complain about them and to respect other people who are complaining about them. But apparently, like Thunderfoot's video sort of points out, you can't be on the same side and cross these certain lines. And I agree that I have the same lines. I mean, I don't really do the anti-natalism thing if the only purpose is you hate humans and you think nature's cool. Well, then yeah, you're an idiot in my book. You don't even get the whole point. You're missing the boat, so to speak. It just sailed and you had no idea. You're trying to walk on some sort of muddy water with this nutty idea that you've made everything okay because you got rid of one stupid moronic species on Earth. And now everything's just fine because only the crocodiles and the lions and the bears and all the other things are eating everything else, and the sharks and the diseases are killing them, so it's all okay. Diseases killing things is okay. So yeah, philosophically, there's just so much to this kind of stuff, the way people define tragedies. This whole idea of a premature death, so if somebody's 96 years old and they get run over by somebody, there'd be no calculation that there was a 50-50 chance they'd be dead the next year anyway. And it really can't be added up to as much of a tragedy, because where they're missing, except, the idea that it takes them their whole energy for the day is pretty much getting out of bed and turning the TV on and maybe walking to the mailbox, and that's the adventure they're living. So they're not missing on much, right? So, and then there's crazy people, and they're much better off dead, people like myself. And ironically accept the fact that I'm sort of necessary now because I'm somehow I'm like the key maker in the Matrix or something. I'm sort of vital but not a star. Because apparently I know all the important facts and nobody else can figure out. And so I have to be around to articulate these more important truths that everybody gets wrong. some not important but significant. Significant but not important. Some kind of double speak like that. So anyway, yeah, it was just kind of weird for, Thunderfoot titles the video something might split with a skeptic community or some kind of, and I don't really, it just seemed like a strange title just because I had no idea that hating women was being a skeptic. I just didn't know that's how it worked. But anyway, so that was an interesting sidetrack. I haven't, Piro made a couple of videos, where he just does this hatchet job of playing my videos. And it's so funny because for years people have complained about me playing other people's videos. And I do actually pause after people finish sentences and I respond to the point they're making. And it's just hilarious to watch Piro do it because he does it so badly. And it's all straw man. I mean, he doesn't pay any attention to the argument made, and he often breaks right in the middle of the argument. And just amazing, poor performance. And he certainly just drones on and on with irrelevant examples to his straw man, fake premise that somebody else made some argument to the counter. And now he's calling determinism a religion, which is so ironically, oxymoronically inverted, in the sense that there's no room for any God in determinism, in the sense that you would also argue that God's intellect was also determined in terms of how it was going to process reality. And it wasn't going to think bad ideas or good ideas, and it wasn't going to think up is down and all this crap that Piro thinks we're randomly going to do every now and then, which is do something stupid instead of smart for no reason, because some random molecule did a random thing and somehow we have an error code, which we don't have, and which computers don't have, and which your iPod doesn't have. It doesn't make random errors. It makes errors that have causes. And so this is just all, this whole conversation is, it shouldn't be necessary to even have it, because frankly it's sort of grammar school type mechanics that it boils down to. And he'll just keep talking about what things look like and what they seem like and blah blah blah, instead of talking about what the truth is, which is every molecule of water going over Niagara Falls, none of them are randomly doing any falling. None of them are randomly doing anything. It's all forces, and it's all cause and effect. And so again, to call cause and effect a religion is just so boldly imbecilic. It mocks again vocabulary. So it's like he can't use words properly. He doesn't understand concepts properly. It's impossible to sit there and call cause and effect a religion. But anyway, it really is. It's too fucking irrational. So, Anticondavod's made a follow-up video. I haven't seen that yet, but no doubt he won't be addressing any of the significant realities of the physical universe and our biology and the mechanism of chemistry animated, and the fact that there's no mysteries here really. We're all quite predictable in many respects, and we certainly know that we don't just say I will play the piano. I will, but I won't practice. I won't learn music. I won't even listen to music. I won't do anything that we know is necessary for me to be able to compose the proper movements that music's going to require. And we know the cause, the effect isn't going to happen if you don't do the pre-causing of the familiarizing and practicing and learning. And that's just the truth. And your will, even if you get an idea to do something, that's what you got first, was the idea. That's the cause. And he just ignored that part of the video, of course, thinking we will our ideas completely backwards. But I've always argued that that's all Pyrrho is he's always got the cart and the horses backwards. Just can't get it right. Just can't do it. So that subject, I guess, will require another video of some kind, probably, maybe, possibly. Just got off the amoxicillin for the Lyme disease, but I really do feel like crap today, so I don't know what that means. It's tedious. I haven't seen any Lyme ticks. I've just seen wood ticks, a ton of wood ticks. So the mild winter, I guess, was very, very good for wood ticks because they're all over the place. But anyway, what else is news? I did post different little links on the other websites and whatnot. You know, old fan did a little video for each one of her little statues. Little, well, you know what I mean, her miniatures. Her miniatures. At the show. And really very good little videos, just pointing out the basics and just showing, and, you know, just well done work. You know, when you see it all in a row, it's really quite a body of work. You know, just hours and hours of, you know, very well done. But knowing, you know, art is, you know, it's a tough racket. These people are annoying today. They're having some kind of party that way, so they've been playing all kinds of music, and they're having some sort of yelling thing over there. Fucking people. Yeah. Just, anyway, yeah, I just don't, you know, don't get it in principle at all. But anyway, I mean, kids are cute for, you know, 3.28% of the time. The rest of the time, they're not cute. All right. So what else is there? Yeah, I'm tired and, you know, it's tedious. So I didn't get a physics video done this week, and really been thinking about it. Hotladay did a sort of a overview on how to think about physics, and, you know, I don't know, you know, this whole idea of the material, and he got into this whole infinite and double infinity thing, you know, because that did bother him. It likewise bothers me, this gimmick of playing around with infinities as if they're actual sets. You can have a set of infinity, and then you can have another set that's double infinities, and another set that has triple infinities. And just because you can play a game with words doesn't mean you played a game with any real concept. But anyway, that's a whole nother part of bullshit physics. But yeah, I was thinking, not that I want to do a physics video, because I know people don't really care for that stuff, but it really is so simple, and I kind of alluded to in the determinism video that there's only two mechanisms. There's the force, you know, that moves things around, and the force is in all kinds of forms, but it's always in that photonic form. Very small stuff conveys the agenda to the bigger stuff, and the bigger stuff would be the protons and the electrons. And if you move the electron or a proton inside of a material body, then the material body is going to end up moving, because all the protons are tied to all the electrons. The atoms are connected to each other in the sense that this force stuff moves between them. And so if you push a little bit more into that system, that little bit more will migrate through all the bits, and it will, you know, feel the force or absorb the force and become a possessor of the force in terms of space shells and stuff. So yeah, space shells came up in my thinking about determinism, you know, just because it's a very highly complex, you know, deal, you know, and somebody did the math on it, and you know, the idea that you have so many failable elements, you know, 700,000 failable elements. And, you know, just the odds of you ending up, you know, having a failure in one of those parts, just out of the idea that there can always be a defect, or you do a little tiny bit of damage, and that creates a huge risk. But that's the real story, right? The two space shuttles that blew up, they blew up for reasons. The O-rings in the first case, and the second case was they had shield damage on takeoff, and they lost some tiles, and they were tiles in important places, and unfortunately they had a thermal problem going through the atmosphere, and burned their wing off. But I'm just saying they're causes. There's nothing random about it, and it's a very complex thing, and it works very reliably, generally speaking, except when one of these little causes, these little defects, sneaks in. But it's always a cause. There's no phantom failures, and that's the reality we exist in. So, and especially for us, in this big slow universe we're moving in, and our brain is thinking in, it doesn't work. There's no room for ghosts, quantum ghost. Even though I hate to even concede, because you hate to say, well, look, even if the quantum crap exists, well, it doesn't exist. There is no random. There's no uncertain. It's always going to come out the way it's going to come out, because that's what it demonstrates, because of the probabilities. There wouldn't be probabilities if it wasn't already a defined maze that it's going through. It's a defined filter, there's a circumstance that's causing the effect. There is something causing it. That's why there is a limited range of error. Oh, well, whatever. It's just no point. People are too stupid for this conversation. But they're too stupid for most all conversations. Even the morbid, no, not the morbid guy, what the hell's his name? Scottish fellow used to do great text imitations. Biodegradable man. He left a comment, about determinism, and then he did the typical thing people do. Therefore, criminals aren't to blame for being criminals, or some kind of stupid, there's no such thing as a crime, or something. And it's like, no, it doesn't change whether behavior sucks and is stupid and is unproductive. Whether or not the person could have been something else doesn't have anything to do with the fact that they suck. I mean, if somebody's short, they're short. It doesn't make them unshort. Somebody's fat, they're fat. They're not unfat because they didn't mean to be fat, or they didn't intend to be fat, or they didn't have a choice and couldn't be unfat. It doesn't change the fact that they're fat. So there's no point in arguing that somehow crime isn't a crime, or that bad behavior isn't bad behavior, and there's certainly no point in pretending that deterrence doesn't work, because we know it does. That reward and punishment is part of the cause and effect. If you don't have the cause of reward and punishment, you won't have the effect of the positive benefits you get from rewarding good behavior and punishing bad behavior. It's part of the determinism. So you can't get away from the fact that you have to invest in the future you want to have happen. And that's going to be part of the determinism, is doing the simple logic of saying, yes, I have to invest in it. I can't sit on the couch. And somebody else even made that point, that they could sit on the couch and the world will be exactly the same as if they don't sit on the couch. Of course it won't be. If you go outside, you might kill somebody accidentally by just talking to them for 5 minutes, and then they would have ended up in a bad situation, and something would have happened to them, and they got killed. If you talk to them or don't talk to them, all that kind of shit happens. So you change the world by changing your position. So there is no option. There's no hiding place. Not doing something is doing something. You can't escape being a doer. The fact that there's these different things you could possibly be doing, and they'll have different outcomes, is a truth. But there's no such thing as not doing. Not doing is doing. Well, anyway, it's just... Sorry, I'm just, everything seems tedious, more tedious, because I'm just feeling kind of, ugh. So I'm dragging through it a bit today. But anyway, you can't complain about this environment, though. I mean, it's a little cluttered, but once all this stuff, it's like you got to make a mess to make a masterpiece. That's sort of how it works. So yeah, it's a mess in this stage, but once the flowers start and all that shit, it'll be a masterpiece then. It'll be magnificent. Trump thing. Magnificent. Stupendous. It'll be stupendous. Ouch. Getting old sucks. Can't even just sit for too long in a position. Everything goes all stiff and painy. It's the other thing, Anaconda made some bullshit video, one of his sadistic, masochistic ones, where he's talking about how he likes having his pain. And, because I have a little trouble with one of my hips too, just from getting old, I guess. And so every now and then it goes funky. And it's, quite a substantial pain. It's not like, you just walk through it. Yeah, you don't really walk through it. To say that somehow this is going to do my life some sort of good, it's just such bullshit. Being crippled is not likely to improve your life. I mean, obviously you can do some things, you can take some advantage of perspective. You can go blind and see more because of your blindness, as Chief Dan George would have said. Little big man. And that's some of that shit is true, but it's more likely that it's going to limit your function, not expand your function, to be blind. Cover some of this crap so it stays warm. Ow. But there's too much crap to cover. It really, got an awful lot of plants. Probably too many this year, but we'll see. We'll see if there is a possibility of having too many plants. Just keep manufacturing new pots to put them in. Hey, look at that. You can see my computer all the way in there. Huh. Cool. Anyway, I think that's it. I often say I think that's it, and it's not it, but more irises here. Lots of irises doing well. Got some more growing in this little pot, but no flowers for that one. I gotta put them in a bigger pot. And such. So yeah, a little messy over here, but really quite lovely. I'm gonna wash these, but take them off the chair, and the chair looks prettier. Okay, naggy fuckers. So I do have a habit of putting stuff on chairs, and I shouldn't do that. They look a lot better without stuff on them. So I was going to put this in the cat's house, but I forgot. It rained. There's a cat in the chair. There's a crazy cat. Yeah, I thought this amaryllis was dead. It might cross between the white and the red. It's kind of pretty. Yeah. Anyway. So put that there for tomorrow. Yeah. Put this out here for washing. Let's see. Is there anything else? I don't think there's really all that much news. I mean, I could show you the from out here. Well, I did show you from out here. Yeah, those are really like those things. But yeah, this is where the tomatoes, some more tomatoes will go, and such. But nice deer protection, perfectly engineered for access and whatnot. Really quite brilliant. So, a little bit of clutter there to clean up. But it really is really nice here. So, hope I can stay Anyway, ooh, that's a nice color. Ooh, I like that. Those are columbines. Look at all those little things there. I didn't even know I had those, whatever they are. They're going to be some little flower. Cool. I kept trying to get stuff to grow in here, but it always gets too much shade and too much weeds, and I don't know what the hell this thing is taking over. I gotta cut that back. So, table I rarely use, but I like the idea of it. And such. Oh, Sylvester. Yeah. Meow and such. Oh, garden gnome. Well, he's seen better days, gotta paint him. Anyway, okay, now that's enough bullshit. That's just absolute bullshit. Yeah, boys. Yeah, I don't see anything else. Okay. So, till it be the next time. And let's see what this week brings and such. So forth and whatnot.